What's good? What's good? What's good, people? How y'all feel? I hope that you are as fired up as I am about the Bears and the Saints tomorrow. Bears with an opportunity, really, if we really want to talk about it, if we really want to be serious, Bears with opportunity to a good opportunity to put themselves on a 4 game win streak. Now, y'all know I put that lofty prediction out there that the Bears had an opportunity to go on an 8 game win streak. So in order for us to get halfway there, that means that we got to what? That means we got to come up with this victory on Sunday. And obviously, I think it's possible. But I did say in my last video that I 100% believe that this is a trap game. So we have to be very careful going into this game. We cannot go into this game overconfident. And I'm sure, obviously, these types of things I don't worry about as much with Ben Johnson as the head coach because I don't worry about the Bears being underprepared as much as I used to with Eberflus and maybe even some of the previous head coaches. I think the Bears will be ready to play. Also, we got some good news, honestly, if we're talking about the injury report. So let's show for anyone who hasn't seen this. So before when you get a chance to watch tomorrow, this is what one of the main focuses. Cairo Santos is going to be out again. So what's going on, Trey? I appreciate you dropping through, brother. Um, Cairo Santos is going to be out again. So that means that Jake Moody is going to be elevated. He will be the kicker again. Hopefully he doesn't find himself back playing in 49er form, and we can still get more of what we saw when he came up with clutch kicks after clutch kick, including the game winner against the Commanders. But Cairo's out again. I mean, and I know Ben Johnson told Cairo that when you come back, and he told the media that when he comes back, he's going to still be the quarterback for the Bears. I mean, not the quarterback, the kicker for the Bears. But when you're the kicker, you don't have as much job security as a quarterback. So he must really be hurt because outside of that, I don't think he'd be this comfortable just kind of chilling. So we'll see what happens. But also Noah Sewell's out, which I'm not surprised. That hit that he took actually was from friendly fire. I can't remember who it was that came in and hit him where he was already engaged in a tackle. Ended up getting a concussion from that particular situation. Good thing was he did walk off under his own power. He was, as you can tell here, a full participant in practice on Friday, but still he's being held out. So it's good that he was even able to practice, honestly, if we're being honest. But he won't be playing. I think this gives a good opportunity. I believe that Ruben Hippolyte is ready to step up and play and do well. So we're going to see what happens there. I think he ends up getting some of those reps. Obviously, he moves some things around, and it's crazy, right? Because Sewell goes down right after you get TJ Edwards back, and I didn't think TJ Edwards looked like he was at full 100% against the Commanders. I've seen him move better, so I wondered if he was there, if he was 100%. But he, as you can see, he's not on the injury report, so he's a go. Grady Jarrett was limited on Friday. They list him as questionable. I don't expect him to play. I think they are like kind of slowly ramping him up to be ready for maybe like week 8. So I think they're just trying to take their time with him. I think that's okay because also what it does is it's giving the Bears an opportunity to get some looks at Shamar Turner. And I was a little more down on Shamar Turner than I at first because I watched, but this was before I watched the All 22. So I watched his All 22 earlier tonight, actually, and he's not making any level of progress in terms of getting to the pass. So he's not playing great there. But against the run, he's been pretty solid. He was pretty solid against the Commanders. So that's a good thing, but it does not check the box that the Bears still have wide open, which is pass rush, which we'll get into in a second. Hopefully somebody here is going to help with that. DeAndre Swift is listed as questionable. I'd be shocked if he didn't play. I think I heard that he is expected to play. The real one here is Austin Booker. Austin Booker was a full participant in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He's listed as questionable here. From what I'm hearing, he is going to play. So it will be interesting to see how many plays he gets. This is a first action of the season. Bears are really hoping and depending on him to jumpstart this pass rush in some way, shape, or form. Travis Homer is the same situation. He has been elevated. I wouldn't expect him to make much more of an impact in playing on special teams. Agbon Bamiga, I think is how you say his name. He might get some run outside of special teams, especially with Sewell out. We'll see. Jonah Jackson, full participant, and DJ Moore also, even though DJ Moore went down with that with the injury and had to, from what we heard, be kept in the hospital in Washington. He's also playing as well. So the injury report doesn't look as bad, I think, as many people expected it to look. So that's a good thing because they should be more healthy. It is going to we'll see what happens with the defense without having Sewell, but I think the Bears can rise to the occasion in this. Now, let's talk about this quarterback situation. And I'm not talking about like the Bears have a quarterback situation, but I don't know if people understand the history with Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler, who is the Saints starting quarterback. So Caleb Williams is a freshman in Oklahoma, actually ended up taking Spencer Rattler's job, and it was bogus how it happened too. They're playing a game in Oklahoma, which is Rattler's, I believe it's Rattler's hometown, and he's struggling. The crowd there starts literally chanting, "We want Caleb. We want Caleb." Caleb comes in the game, and he leads the team to when they played Texas, he led the team to a humongous comeback. It's bad. It was pretty bad, right? And so obviously so far, Caleb's had more success. Caleb had more success in college. He won the Heisman. Caleb ended up, just and went number one. Spencer Rattler did not. And even in the NFL, even though while Caleb had a tough, not tough, but some would say up and down rookie season, he's still clearly the bar is pointing up for him. The arrow's pointing up for him. I don't know if people would necessarily say the arrow's pointing up for Spencer Rattler. Other thing about Rattler is a lot of people think like that Caleb Williams is not maybe the most likable quarterback, a likable young player. And I think he's maturing and kind of getting out of some of those things that people had issues with. But Spencer Rattler definitely got a reputation early on as kind of being a little bit of a jerk. And there's a video that came out from him when he was playing like youth football and how he's just totally just talking down to his wide receivers on his 7-on-7 team. It's kind of bad. And he really got painted as this really super cocky kid. And in college and even in the pros, it has not quite panned out. So now here he is going head to head with Caleb's team. Caleb's team's also pointing on the arrow up. We're on a 3-game winning streak, and the Saints are sitting here 1-5. This dude would love nothing more than to come into Chicago, get a second win for his Saints, and stick it to Caleb Williams. I don't care what anybody says. You probably talk to some people, talk to him. He might say, "Oh, it's just another game," all the cliches, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy that for a second. People, these are human beings just like you and I. And when it's all that kind of stuff is all connected, it actually does impact. So I think that's going to be a fascinating part of tomorrow. Here's the bad news for Spencer Rattler, and in my opinion. I think that Dennis Allen is the perfect type of defensive coordinator to dismantle a young quarterback, especially one like Rattler, who up to now hasn't shown the ability to diagnose defenses, get the ball out of his hands quick, understand where he's supposed to put the ball early on. Some people will say that's even Caleb's fault, or Caleb's problem. But I expect Dennis Allen to dial up all kinds of blitzes, because we saw in the Commanders game, he's going to get creative. He's not going to sit back and say, "Okay, I'm not getting pressure from the front four. We're just not going to get pressure." He's going to bring it off the edges with Jaquan Brisker, with other people bringing it up the middle, off the sides, everywhere. He's going to bring pressure. And the concept here is for the quarterback not to know where the pressure is coming from. And we saw quite a few times that it didn't appear that Jaden Daniels knew exactly where that pressure was coming from. So, and especially in the second half, the Bears' pass defense got better because of this. I expect to see this all game long against Spencer Rattler, and Rattler's not Jaden Daniels. I don't even think he'll handle it that well. I mean, because I'll be honest, Jaden Daniels is getting slammed for his performance against the Bears. But quite honestly, if you take away the interception and obviously the fumble at the end that gave the Bears the ball with the opportunity to win the game, he played a really good game. He played a really good game. So I thought for the most part he kind of handled it, but I do not expect Spencer Rattler to handle what Dennis Allen brings quite that well. So that's going to be interesting. Now, there has been a lot of talk about if and who the Bears will trade for come, as we get closer to the trade deadline. Initially, or for the most part, most of this talk has been about a running back. And I have said this, and I said this during a stream, during the Commander stream. And by the way, if you guys don't know, I am live streaming tomorrow during the game. So if you want to come hang out with me, watch the game with me, please do so. I will be right here. The notification will go out. Generally, I start the stream about a half hour before the game. We can talk about what we think about the predictions, who we expect to win, who we expect to have a great game, all of that. So I will be here 11:30 Central Time tomorrow to start that stream. But I think that tomorrow, man, this game, it's a scary one for me, because even though Ben Johnson is going to have this team prepared, I believe the Saints are coming in here with everything to gain. And this is going to be a big one. So it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be very important for the Bears to get off to a good start, not to have all those empty drives that we tend to have early in the game where we're dominating, moving the ball, getting the ball down into the red zone, and we have to settle for field goals. I don't want to do that, especially with a backup kicker. We're in a situation. I know how well he played against the Commanders. I know it, but I don't want to put Jake Moody in a situation where, we got a couple trips into the red zone. We got a couple trips inside Saints territory early. We couldn't get the ball in the end zone. He misses a kick or so. Even though we've had 2 dominant drives, we turn around, we're only up 3-0. I don't want to see that. Don't want that to be the case. So got to get off to a good start. That's one of the biggest things. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys what I feel like my prediction is for tomorrow. I feel like, as much as I've said, I get it. I think the Bears win this game tomorrow 28-10. I think this is the first game that the Bears win this year where they kind of win it going away. 28-10, I feel like maybe the first half is a little closer than maybe it should be. Maybe at the end of the first half, the Bears are up 10-3, something to that effect, and Saints are right in there. But in the second half, I think the Bears kind of make some distance, maybe a turnover or two. Maybe the defense scores. I'm really, honestly, guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'll get to that in a second, but maybe the defense scores. But I think 28-10 is my prediction. Hopefully, I'm right. I am hoping that we also see something from special teams in terms of from the return group. So far, man, we have seen just almost no explosiveness from this return game. I would love to see that take place on tomorrow. So if you have not yet liked the video, please do. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, do that as well. But be back tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Let's watch the Bears beat the Saints. I appreciate everybody for watching. God bless and peace.